Spineless Republicans making utter fools of themselves on the floor of the Senate and the House of Representatives and elsewhere. Finally, Democrats are fighting and pushing back as MAGA Republicans like Tommy Tuberville, who Donald Trump pretended coached Mahomes, which he did not. He went on the Senate floor, and this is what he was focused about, doing emojis of men with pregnant men. That's what they're focusing on, huh? And then you've got Republicans like Susan Collins, who eventually said that she was going to support the nomination of Tulsi Gabbard, saying, I think Elon Musk may have gone too far. I am concerned. But folks, protests are now taking place across the United States of America. We're seeing protests, whether it's outside the Michigan Capitol building, whether it's in the Colorado, states across the nation. People are starting to rise up. Here, let me show you what was going down on the House floor as finally Democrats are pushing back. You've got Democratic Congress member Jim McGovern. Here he talks about, I think people were trying to vote for lower prices, not Donald Trump occupying Gaza with the United States military and leveling it, as Donald Trump described his ethnic cleansing campaign. Here, play this clip.
I mean, my Republican friends like to talk about America first. Again, I mean, look at the front page of the New York Times today. Trump proposing takeover of Gaza as U.S. territory. I got to tell you, people voted for lower egg prices, not for a Middle East Mar-a-Lago. People did not vote to send their sons and daughters into the tunnels of Gaza so that Jared Kushner and Donald Trump can build Trump Tower Gaza. That's not what they voted for. I mean, people want to talk about issues and want us to deal with issues that are going to impact their everyday life, lower the cost of living. And in the first weeks, we have seen nothing from this president or the Republican majority here to deal with that.
Next up, we have again Democratic Congressmember Jim McGovern, a real fighter. Here's what he's saying about Donald Trump talking about invading Greenland and Panama. Here, play this clip.
And look, the agenda we're talking about, I mean, I'm looking at the New York Times here. Trump proposing takeover of Gaza as U.S. territory. I mean, do your constituents want to have their sons or daughters sent to Gaza to be in the middle of that violence? This is the guy who also now wants to invade Greenland. He wants to take over Panama. He wants to annex Canada. He wants to now occupy Gaza. I mean, we have 42 million people in this country who are hungry. Whatever happened to America first? Whatever happened to helping people in this country? Whatever happened to lowering prices? And instead we get this. This is like a warmonger here. I mean, come on.
Next up, you have Democratic Congress member Raja Krishnamurthy, who, like Democratic Congress member McGovern, you've seen Congress member Krishnamurthy here on the Meidastouch network a lot. Here they are asking the governor of Iowa, Governor Reynolds, a MAGA Republican, about whether or not she views the Lutheran Church and Lutheran Family Services as a money laundering operation, as Elon Musk claims it is.
Ma'am, I want to bring your attention to something very disturbing that Musk just recently tweeted out. As we see at this visual, he said, the DOGE team is rapidly shutting down illegal payments to Lutheran Family Services. Musk retweeted a post from Michael Flynn likening Lutheran Family Services to, quote, a money laundering operation. Governor, you don't believe that the Lutheran Church or Lutheran Family Services is a money laundering operation, correct?
Look, I can tell you that in Iowa, the taxpayers of Iowa hold me personally responsible and accountable for state government, just as they hold President Trump accountable
for his The Lutheran Church is not a money laundering operation, right?
And the election that we just
Des Moines,
went through,
Iowa is the home to the largest
Lutheran
congregation in the United States.
Iowans overwhelmingly.
Is the Lutheran Church a money laundering operation?
Listen.
Of course not.
First of all, every program should be looked at, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay,
you have
the
to look
Lutheran
at.
Family
I looked
Church
at
has some connection to money laundering. Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm not saying that, but I said every.
Yes or no question. Is it a money laundering operation?
I can't speak to that.
You can't speak to that. Oh my God. Let's go to this USAID issue. The USAID purchases.
Here, it's great questioning right there. And you Congressmember Krishnamurthy as a lawyer, knows how to cross-examine. Here he is again, talking about how it's obvious that the governor would never allow what Elon Musk is doing to the federal government to happen in Iowa. Play this clip.
Governor Reynolds, in your testimony, you said that the state of Iowa hired an, quote, outside firm to assist you with your efforts to modernize Iowa state government, right? Yes. Of course, at no time did you allow this outside firm to ever control Iowa's state payment systems, right?
Correct.
And of course, you did not at any time give this outside firm access to the private personal information of all Iowans in the state's payment systems, did you?
No.
Of course not. Let's talk about what has happened with DOGE for a moment. According to this letter, which was sent by the Treasury Department, Jonathan Bloom of the Treasury Department, a DOGE affiliate of Elon Musk is now, quote, a special government employee with access to the coded data of the fiscal services payment system. This is the most important federal payment system in the nation, responsible for making $6 trillion in payments every year to hundreds of millions of Americans. And just moments ago, Politico just disclosed that DOGE now has access to all Medicare and Medicaid payments as well.
By the way, if you're wondering why Governor Reynolds was even there in the first place, this was part of the MAGA Republican theatrics of trying to show how efficient governments need to work. So they were trying to prop up the state of Iowa as an example of brilliant efficiency in how governments work. By the way, like the state of California, which they trash all the time, would have the 4th or 5th largest GDP of any country. It's the blue states that are funding the red states. And as Elon Musk is gutting all of these government services, the red states get way more government services than the blue states. As the red states are about to find out, the leopards have eaten their faces. Here is Democratic Congresswoman Stansberry. Here she talks about while Trump is golfing. Here's what was happening to our Medicaid systems. Play this clip.
While Trump was golfing, the Medicaid systems were shut down and locked out. Hospitals and clinics were wondering if they were going to be able to keep their doors open. Food assistance and homeless programs across New Mexico were shut out of their grant programs that keep families literally fed and off the streets. Head Starts, preschools, and children's programs were wondering if they were going to be able to make payroll the next day or by the end of the week.
Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett doing a great job as always. Play this clip.
Someone who is unelected, it doesn't matter how many cheerleaders he had on the fields campaigning for him. That doesn't mean that he gets to go in and sit atop any of our agencies. And the fact that we had a vote today and we asked to bring him in because we have a constitutional duty. We all took our oath, and maybe some of y'all just don't take it seriously, but I take it seriously when I take an oath to do a job, and my job is to look out and make sure that we don't have any kings or queens in this country. But it seems like y'all have decided that it's going to be Mr. King and his queen, and y'all can pick which one is which. But
Democratic Congress member Cesar, here he is. Play the clip.
Elon Musk is not doing anything to make government more efficient for working people. He's using his position to more efficiently raid your taxpayer dollars to enrich himself and his friends. I'm told that this hearing is about right-sizing government. So I propose that we start right-sizing our federal government by firing the most dangerous man in it, and that's Elon Musk. To protect our taxpayers, we should fire Elon Musk. To keep American Social Security numbers private, fire Elon Musk. To protect Medicare and Medicaid, fire Elon Musk. To save schools and our jobs, fire Elon Musk. And to protect the idea that American people have a government for the people and by the people, and not for the ultra-rich and by the ultra-rich, we must fire Elon Musk.
Democratic Congress member Frost cross-examining Iowa's Governor Reynolds. Play this clip.
Let's move on to FEMA really quickly. Okay. Trump has said that he wants FEMA to go away. He would like to see the states take care of the disasters on their own. I come from Florida. We work very closely with FEMA. Do you think most Iowans would agree with President Trump that FEMA should suddenly stop existing?
I don't think he's eliminating, and I think what I had understood was he was thinking that maybe it should go back to the states, which that's something
Governor,
I
he
think we
said-
should take a look
sorry,
at.
Governor, a reclaim. The president was very clear in this. He believes that the agency, FEMA, should be completely eliminated. Do you agree with that, or do you not agree with that? I mean, it's okay to disagree sometimes with,
Well, I'm not afraid to disagree. I'm just
So
thinking,
do you disagree
they're-
that with
it-
FEMA, with
the
his
bu- the-
assessment of FEMA?
It's bureaucratic. It's a nightmare to work with. They can only do one thing at a time. I have
There's
impacted
issues with FEMA,
individuals.
maybe we
There are
need to fix
huge.
it. But do you agree with him that we should
we could have a
eliminate
whole
it?
nother hearing
Governor,
on
sorry, I'm
that.
going to reclaim my comment. Do you agree with him that we should eliminate FEMA? Yes or no?
I think we need to take a look at it and how those
Take a look at
services
it.
are delivered.
But you don't think we should eliminate it?
I think we should take a look at it and see how those services are delivered.
Okay, but it sounds like you don't think we should we shouldn't get rid of it, which I agree with. In the past 10 years, your state has been granted FEMA support 10 times. President Trump in 2018 denied you a claim after flooding and horrible weather patterns that happened in Iowa. You said you were extremely disappointed and that the people of Iowa needed FEMA's help. That was your quote. And so
Just so you see what the MAGA Republicans were doing at this hearing, here is MAGA Republican Congress member Burleson, again, just so utterly offensive, and the contempt they show to federal workers. I mean, Elon Musk, as you know by now, we've been reporting about this throughout the network, has been putting into all of these government entities his like 21-year-old, 22-year-old, 19-year-old people who work for him to take control over like the Treasury Department's payment systems, have access to potentially your Social Security, your medical files, Medicare, Medicaid, loan banking information, right? Elon Musk has destroyed U.S. aid. They're next going to destroy the Department of Labor, destroying the Department of Education. They have access to the payment systems in the Treasury Department. This, as Donald Trump and Elon Musk want to create a sovereign wealth fund, in my opinion, to literally pick your pockets and transfer the wealth to give to billionaires through a sovereign wealth fund, which, by the way, places that have sovereign wealth funds, maybe like with surpluses, with oil money, we're running major deficits, and Donald Trump's going to run that deficit up by trillions and trillions of dollars. But here's MAGA Republican Burleson, again, just attacking federal workers. Play this clip.
Would be a huge benefit for the taxpayers of Iowa.
I think DOGE immediately, just in the hiring, probably raised the average IQ of federal workers, here. Let me.
And by the way, as that was going on, there was yet another day where there was an incident where planes were colliding into other planes. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but you had another incident where Japan Airlines hit an American Airlines, and it was an airplane in the United States of America. And anyway, here is Hegseth. Fortunately, no one was hurt there. Here is Defense Secretary, former Fox host Pete Hegseth. I'm telling Netanyahu, we're giving you all the weapons that you want, basically. Play this clip.
We've supplied munitions that were previously not supplied that are useful in eradicating radical enemies, and we are committed to continue to do so.
Here's MAGA Republican, MAGA Mike Johnson. Play the clip.
Yeah, we're trying to get the details of it, but I think this is a good development. We have to back Israel 100%, and so whatever form that takes, we're interested in having that discussion. But it was a surprising development, but I think it's one.
Here is MAGA Republican Nancy Mace, again saying, oh, enough with your salty tears as we shut down all of your agencies. Ha ha ha, we're delivering the pain on the American people that they deserve. What MAGA Republicans are doing. Here, play this clip.
Or as we all now know, USAID. They're screaming about Elon Musk over there, but hey, George Soros and his boy are okay. They scream that we're all a threat to democracy when they've been systematically dismantling democracy before our eyes. They've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and there's no going back. So I would tell my colleagues across the other side of the aisle, take your salty tears and sit right back down.
And by the way, when Donald Trump invited his new Attorney General Pam Bondi into the Oval Office, you notice who's right by his side right there? Yep, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, literally taking criminal bribes. Clarence Thomas. He sits on the Supreme Court being bribed by billionaires, just taking their money. And he's one of the major corruptive forces in this country and doesn't even care. Just he goes on vacations with the billionaires, chills with the billionaires. I mean, quite literally, someone who is, criming from the Supreme Court. But who else would you expect to be part of this criminal cartel of an administration, essentially, with what their actions are? Again, that being the case because Donald Trump is a convicted felon. Here is Charlie Kirk congratulating Susan Collins, the Republican senator of Maine, for agreeing to allow Tulsi Gabbard to be the director of national intelligence, which should pave the way for her to get that position. And of course, now we basically have who many believe to be an asset of Russia running our national intelligence. This at the same time that Donald Trump has provided buyouts to everybody at the CIA, effectively trying to destroy our CIA. Donald Trump has gutted our counterterrorism division at the FBI, gutted all major, most major positions at the FBI as well. And all the while threatening occupation in Gaza. The most unstable, psychopathic, demented, dangerous. And we just have to say what it is. Donald Trump is a fascist. Donald Trump is an authoritarian. The Republican Party has hoisted up an authoritarian regime. We have to resist and fight back against an authoritarian regime in the United States of America. America is no longer a democracy. It isn't. And in 3 short weeks, America's lost its democracy. We're an authoritarian nation under Donald Trump, an idiotic authoritarian leader. We have to fight back against that. It's why you're seeing these protests take place across the country. I want you to know every step of the way, as I said, until they take this microphone and pry it from my hands, I'm going to be on here with you each step of the way. I'm going to show you where protests are happening. I'm going to give you the knowledge that you need. We're going to be meeting and talking with the members of Congress and the Senate. We're going to be giving you all the data that you need. So please subscribe. We need you to subscribe. It's free to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please subscribe now. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.
Can't get enough Midas? Check out the Midas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MidasPlus.com.